you are good to go. So once again, welcome to day 9 of Hyperautomation AI free UiPath training. So thanks everyone for the continuous support as well as the continuous learning and continuous things what you are trying to keep the effort and all. So we really appreciate the enthusiasm that you are trying to keep in learning or upskilling yourselves. Yep. Athudu, over to you.
Yep. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. And everyone, welcome back. Uh, so yesterday we covered about the objects and how we will be using the object repository. Today, like yesterday, we started with the UI library, but we were not able to properly complete it. And now we will be going to cover that. So can someone confirm me that like whether you can see my screen?
Yeah, we are.
Perfect. Thank you. And let me go to the project which yesterday we have created, the object repository. And here we have the form page and like we have all the elements we captured yesterday in yesterday's session. And once we come here, and there is an option here in order to extract as UI library project. So once we click on this, the new project will be getting created and we can have it. Like let me create a challenge. Let me just put an underscore here because yesterday we already exported one, but let us see. Now RPA challenge UI library. So you can write your description, which will give you a clear picture of which application you are creating. The naming and descriptions. We need to have that a clear picture of what we are trying to do, and the naming conventions are much more important for readability purpose. And it is got created. And if you want to open this, and when you click on this S, the existing project will be closed and the new project will be open, whatever the UI library got created. And if you doesn't want to open it, you can click on no. Let me click on S. So now we got this particular project, and if you come here, we have all the elements available, right? And this is a library project. So it doesn't have anything other than the objects, right? So now let me come here and publish this. RPA underscore challenge and dot descriptors and the version. Okay. Click on next. I'll be keeping it in downloads for now. Just unchecking this. This we can do that, but for now, time being, I'm just doing it. Okay. By default, we will get with the library name, and this is not required. Click on publish. Now it is got published, and let me create a new project. A new process with blank. Here, I'll go to the manage packages, and I kept it in downloads, right? So I'll be coming to downloads. I'm just removing all these filters. So now I could able to see this and click on install. Save. See here. Now we could able to see all the activities, all the objects, whatever is got created. Okay. And let me do one thing. Here we can do the automation very easily. Let us try to fill it the email. Okay. So what we will do is we will just take an use application activity here. And I'll just take the form here. So now when I created this object UI library, even it's not necessary for me to open the application and do any input or something also. Like when we generally do, right? We will open the application, we will identify the objects, or we will input the data. Like that, we need to keep the application open. But when we already have an UI library, it is not necessary for you to be application to be open. So now I'll just put this email, type into, and I'll just write some@gmail.com. And let me run this for a while. Run the file. See, now it is time. And this is how we are generally doing, right? Let me go back and let me open this descriptor. What I will do is I'll come here, edit descriptor. For this anchor is there, right? I'll delete this anchor. Okay, I'll click on confirm. And now I'll republish a new version. So instead of doing this directly, what I can do, so for now, let it get failed and we will modify and we will republish. Okay. Now I'm publishing this with the version 1.0. Publish. Click on OK. And now I'll come back to this project. I will not change or edit any of the activities I have in my sequence. I'll simply go to manage packages, and here there is an option to upgrade. I'll just click on update and save. Okay. See here. Automatically the screenshot itself is getting changed, and the selectors also will change. Let me refresh this page. And now it will fail. Which means when we are using a single application across multiple projects, we can create these UI libraries and we can publish them for to reuse in any of the processes. And in case if any changes happen to that particular system, we just need to republish the package UI library, and we need to import in each of the project. So this will reduce a lot of time and effort for us in order to go to each and every activity and modify these selectors or objects in each of the project, right? So now it is got failed. Now what I will do is I'll just come back here. So see that. Yeah, here it is. I'll create a. Sorry. I'll just come here. Edit descriptor. Now I will select this and I'll create an anchor. No. Descriptor. Select the email. Now this work, confirm. And let me republish this. Version is 1.0.3. It's done. And let me come back to the project. Manage packages. Upgrade. Save. Now it could able to identify it properly. If we run now, it will input the data. Yes. So this is how the UI libraries will add an advantage for us. In case if any application changes, target application changes, like we can directly deal with objects and UI libraries instead of going to each and every workflow and each and every activity to validate the data. So this is how the UI libraries work. And now we are open for the questions in case if you have any queries related to UI libraries, or can we remove the URL while capturing the descriptors to pass the URL dynamically? Yes, this can be done.
Okay, yeah, hi Patru, Mamta this side. So I have done this actually one of my project. I removed this URL and I was published this object repository as a UI library. But inside it was there. So while pausing the URL, so it was taking the libraries, but it was inside, even though I removed. So then that part I was for the URL login, I was avoided to use the UI library. Is there any other way? Because I once gone through that time, like forum also.
See the URLs and all, right? Like that, we cannot use in the libraries, but in terms of objects we can do. Descriptors you said, right? So there we can do.
Yes.
But when you go like for those, you need to be taken into the consideration. Like for let us suppose if you have an object, right? Let me
Yes.
share my screen.
Okay.
So if I come here, there is an option to unlink properties. So
Yes,
unlink.
I have done
So
that.
we need to
Yeah, I
yes. In case if you want to pass to any specific variables or something, you need to unlink. Because I'll tell you the reason also.
okay.
The reason is because you are dealing with the objects and you need to have a global. This will be a global level. It's not at the workflow level. So for that reason, you need to unlink it.
Okay, got it. Yeah. We can consider this is the limitation of UI libraries, right?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
because maybe we can ask for an upgrade like to consider exporting of the data manager as well along with UI libraries. That we need to wait in case if they are bringing it up.
Okay, thank you.
Recap of last session. Other challenges these libraries can be helpful. See, when we talk about UI libraries or object repository, or when we talk about these things, it is going to help you only in case of UI automation where the target application changes, or it's very hard to have a generic or very stable selectors. In those scenarios, these will be helpful. Can we remove? Will it work if I remove the image capture? So image captured is something that like it is just automatically getting captured and it is just for a reference purpose. There is nothing to do with the image, but in terms of target, we have a multiple targeting methods. So there the image targeting method will not work, but it is just for a reference so that people will get to know like on which element it is clicking instead of going to the descriptor and checking on all these things. Instead of that, like you'll have that picture. See how to install libraries in Studio. It is similar to how we do install the other packages as well. So we will go to the manage packages. We will go to the manage packages. From here, we will be installing it. You see here, even the UI library also will be installed similar to how the other packages are getting installed. There is no much difference. We need to export and send the UI descriptors along with the package to publish. So when we export it, automatically, see, let us suppose you, here I have, right? See, in the previous project, we have this icon enabled in a blue color. So once you click on that, that will be published, that will be exported. Let us suppose if I create an application here, and I have created one more application here, right? I can publish this as an UI library project for both of the applications. It's not only with a single application. And once you click on this, it will extract it as a UI library project with all the objects. And in case if you doesn't want to consider any of the objects, you can delete it back when you are going into this particular object. Like let us suppose I doesn't want to have this cloud download. Delete this object. Yes. And now I'll republish it. Okay. And if I come back to this process, here I have cloud download, right? Let me upgrade this package. Go. See, the cloud download is missing. So we can even modify in the library project also. It's not only that like we need to do it from here. So even it can be from the library project also. And we can use the UI libraries and you can create your new descriptors also. There is no limitation in that. And publish and put single descriptive instead of all package. Publish. Yes, even if you modify a single descriptor, you need to publish the package again. You will not able to see the RPA package challenge library in your studio because that I created based on the descriptors UI library from my system and I published it locally, so it will be available to me only. And how we have done is like we just covered, right? Like once we have all the capturing is available, then we export it as a UI library. When we are deploying the project in production, do we need to send this UI descriptive library as well? So when you are moving into the production, like how we will be having, like we need to have the other libraries also, other packages also in the orchestrator. In the similar way, we need to publish these libraries also to orchestrator so that like it will not create any problem. But you need to have it as a dependency, and that can be in an orchestrator or a tenant level or folder level, like however we are setting up. When can we use the UI library? As most of the time we create process using classic activities and UI library uses. See, UI libraries always go with the modern design, and now we are saying the classic activities, but by default the classic design is disabled unless and until we go to the filter and we can enable, we can check that checkbox for classic activities. But I suggest to go with the modern activities because that is giving more and more advantage in terms of UI automation compared to the classic. Okay, so I think we are good from UI library side. So I'm considering that. So over to you, Saikira.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So let me just share my screen. Yeah, fine. So hope my screen is visible and my voice is also audible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we can mix classic and modern activities in a particular project. We can do that. Fine. So the agenda, what we are going to just see now is related to table extraction. Let's say that I have a table which was available on a particular website and I want to extract that particular
Yeah,
data.
hi, Pradeep. Sorry to disturb you. So before starting this topic, we have Rohit here, so we can introduce Rohit, then we can start the topic again. That's what, right? Just now we have started this particular scenario.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah, hi Rohit. Good morning.
Hi Pradeep, hi Patru. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hi, Rohit.
You're
Hi,
in
hello.
office too early.
Yes, sir. I'm every day in office,
Yeah.
all the time. Good, good. Thank you so
So,
much for the link. Great to see the amazing participation for the session, which is ongoing and consistent. Really hope to see more of you volunteering to share any knowledge that you have as part of as being speakers or as being writers in the community. And feel free to reach out for any help, any support that you need. You can reach out to Pradeep, Patrudu, Sai, or myself. Happy to help. Yeah, guys, carry on. Enjoy.
So Rohit, one more thing. Can we say something about forum? And we are going to give some challenges for next 1 week, right? So
Yeah, okay. So you would have seen a forum post. So we'll share the link for that for the post as well over here. So just go and just read through it. It's fairly intuitive. It's a good opportunity for you to practice or put yourself through what you are learning already, and that will really I would say hyper boost the learning experience for yourself, and you can also validate where you stand in your learning, and that will also help you in coming with more insightful questions, which will really be practical in your learning journey. You also stand a chance to win some very interesting swag and goodies as part of that. So don't bother too much about that. It will reach you, but the whole idea is to kind of mobilize what you are learning, so that it's not just very theoretical. It's not just what you are kind of following. And Pradeep, these sessions are also recorded, which we
Yes,
are
it is
sharing with them.
recorded. Yes, we have
Yeah,
the
so so
videos.
as and when you try things and when you realize that you need to kind of revisit some of the topics which are discussed, you can always go back and check the recordings for the same. So yeah, that's just in a nutshell. Please do go through the forum. If you have any questions around that, just post in the thread over there so that others can also add value to it and benefit from the queries that you are asking.
That's correct, Rohit. Anyhow, we are giving the quiz for them every day, so they are pretty much active
Yes.
on it. So that's the reason we are expecting much active in forum threads. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Pradeep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
Thanks.
Thanks for your
Yeah.
Thanks for
time.
joining.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, Rohit, for all the inputs. Thank you. Yeah, I think so. We'll just start the topic which we are actually trying to go with. Hope we are good, Pradeep, right?
Yes, Saikiran. Thanks for the hold. Yeah, please continue.
Okay, fine. So let's say that we have some table extraction here. We want to extract some data which was there in the first page. Let's say that you want to just extract the data which was there on multiple pages. So let's say that I have 6 pages of data. Maybe like you have 100 pages of data, like how you want to extract. And apart from that, let's say now we can see like 4 or 5 columns on the particular table, but I want to extract only 2 columns or 3 columns. So how can you do that? So we'll try to just see how all these things happens one by one. And let's jump into our particular UiPath. Fine. So let me just create a process. Table underscore extraction. Yeah, just creating the dependencies in the workspace when we just create a process every time. Yeah, fine. So let me just create a small flow chart which will talk about table extraction. Okay. So let me just create it. So at the top, we can see here we have an icon uh, in the design part where we just call that as the table extraction, right? So I'll just simply click on the table extraction here. Okay. So where a new pop-up comes into picture, where it will just say like select data to extract. So first of all, I just need to click on this select data to extract and come back to my particular tabular data, which I want to extract basically. So here I just need to highlight any one of the particular cell value. So which will in return say whether you want to extract the whole table or else you want to just go with a particular data. So for first instance, we'll say like, would you like to extract all the columns from the table? I would like to say yes. So what happens here? You can see here the data got extracted. We have around like 6 columns and 10 rows here. So we can also preview the data here. So this is the data which got extracted in terms of the first page, right? So we can see here the data which was there here in the salary also, right? The salary part here. So we can say that it's been in the background, though it was hidden data. It can also still extract the data which was also hidden in the background. So since the table extraction or the data scraping method will utilize the full text method, which is one of the output methods, it can also extract some data which was also hidden in the background, right? So this is some data. We'll just try to close and we'll just try to say save and close, right? So we have extracted a particular data here. So in the sequence, we have all the things related to what the extraction has been done. So in the use application browser, we have launched a particular website, datadebles.net. And in this particular container, we are utilizing something called extract table data, right? So table extraction will come with a container where it says that the data that's been extracted is stored in a data table called extract data. So if you can see the variable type here, it is basically extract data, right? So after this, what I want to basically do is I just want to write this data back to the Excel. So to write back to the data into Excel, so I'll use an activity called write range workbook. So I'll try to use a workbook activity here. So where I want to write, I want to write in some file called data.xlsx. So what's the sheet name? So I want to write it in sheet 1. So what is the data table? I want to write the data table which was extracted, nothing but extract data table, right? So here, if I just go to the properties, we need to make sure that we are also trying to add the headers. So what is the header data here? We have name, position, office, age, start date, and also we have salary, right? So we are just trying to extract all the data and we are just trying to write back to the Excel. So if you can see here, we don't have any XLSX files that's been created. So, but if I just say like data.xlsx, so automatically in this particular project folder, what you have created for the process, that will be automatically created for us. And the data will be written back into that particular Excel, right? Fine. So let me just run the file so that we'll see what's the data that's been getting written back to the Excel. Okay, so it has done the things for us, and let's see if the file has been created. So if you can see the data.xlsx file has been created. Just a minute ago. If I just open the data, so we have our first bunch of data, which talks about name, position, office, age, start date, and the salaries. Right. So this is the data which been available only on the first page. Right. So I'm just saying that I just want to extract the data which was there on the first page. Let's say now I want to extract the data which was there on all the pages. So we can just try to click here. So it will move to the second page, third page, a fourth page, fifth and sixth, right? So irrespective of how many pages we have, let's say that we have the data which is getting spanned in multiple pages. Let's say it's been on 60 pages or 100 pages. Still, I want to extract that sort of particular data. So we can still do that. So we can just simply uh, go back to our particular sequence. I'll just use the table extraction once again. Right. I'll just say like select data to extract. I'll move back to my particular tabular data and select a single cell. So I'll say that, would you like to extract all the columns? Yes, I'll just click on yes. So here, once you extracted the data, earlier we have just utilized to just save and close, right? But here, I want to just say extract data from multiple pages. So what I'll simply do is I'll just click on yes. So when you just click on yes here, it will ask you to indicate the next button. So here the next button here is, this is the particular icon, which will help me to identify you are trying to navigate to the next page, right? So this is the icon I'll be trying to utilize. In multiple applications, you might be having multiple elements which will navigate us to the next page. But in this particular page, so this is the button which will help me to navigate to the next page. So I'll just simply click on save and close. Right. So we have our data that's been created for us here. So I'll just ignore the earlier extract data things. So what I'll do is I'll just copy paste this particular right range activity, ignore by just commenting out the earlier table extraction method. So what I'll do, I'll just write my particular data here in the sheet 2. So now the whole data which I was getting extracted. So let's say that we have total 57 entries, right? So all the 57 entries which I was trying to do will be written back to my particular Excel, which is called data.xlsx. So now the sheet 2 is not created, but here the UiPath right runs activity is smart enough that if you just specify that what sheet name you want to create, if it is already existing, it will write back on the same Excel, or else in the same sheet. If it is not there, it will try to create the new sheet or Excel for us, right? So let's try to jump into again table extraction methods, and let me just try to run the file. So now we can see the border started. Now it's been on the second page, the third page, the fourth page, fifth, and the sixth page finally. So the bot is smart enough that if there is no pages apart from the sixth, it will automatically stop. So let's move to the project folder and let's open our data.xlsx file. So we have our data which is there in the sheet 2, where we have how many rows of data? We have around like 57 rows of data, including excluding our particular column value. Okay. So sometimes what happens is that this data will be acting as an input for our particular bot to be processed. So let's say that I want to just see the people who are basically from the position of software engineer. Let's say that we have different roles right here. So I want to just see a position of software engineer, and also in the location I want to just process some data which was related to Tokyo basically. So let's say I have people who are software engineers and people who are basically from, okay, we don't have people from London, let's say. Okay, so let's say that we have come across a data that which needs to be processed, right? So I want to see only these 2 rows of data, which is basically from a position of software engineer and office of London, right? So how can I do that? So we'll just showcase that particular capability too. So let me just use that particular things for us that was looking. So before that, we'll just try to extract only required columns, then we'll just showcase that particular concept of how to filter the data, and also we can also just utilize sorting method to how we can also sort the data, right? So let me jump back to our particular table extraction method. So what I do is, again, I'll just utilize our table extraction method. Okay, so I'll just say like select data to extract. So here, earlier we are just selecting a single element, and we are saying like clicking on this, but now I'll just try to click on no. So where it will just try to highlight a single column. So we can just confirm that this is the column I'm just trying to extract. So we can just rename our column name here. So basically my column name is position, right? So we can extract multiple data here. Select data to extract. I'll just again click here, where again I'll navigate to this particular table, where again it says like I want to extract the data which is related to name, right? So again I'll just say it's basically uh, name, right? And I want to extract the data which is there on multiple pages, and which will basically indicating the next page, or else, okay, the next page. Okay, and I'll extract also one data here related to age. Extract the age also. Let's see. Right. So we have confirmed. If I just click here on the settings, and this was newly introduced basically, we have here a column called age, let's say. So I just want to do some modification before writing back my data to the Excel here. So you can also pass your particular data. So here it says like 33 age, let's say. You can also extract data which is only number, which is only date or time, right? So in that particular instance, what I want to do is I just want to sort my particular data here. So sorting is nothing but arranging your data based on the age. So if you can see here, it's in a mix and match. Like it started with 33, 47, 66. It's in increasing mode. Again, it's been decreased, right? Now it's again decreased and increased. But I want to see every data in the ascending order, nothing but the increasing order. I want to process the data which is lesser in age first and higher in age at the last. So I can also sort my particular data earlier itself, so that I'll be processing data which is in the less age at the start without applying any sort of activities, right? I'll just simply click on save and save and close, right? So we have our data. So let's try to just ignore our existing data that's been written back in the Excel. I'll ignore this activity. So we just push this activity into ignore activities so that it's automatically being commented out, and I will just write the data. Right. So now I want to write the data into the sheet 3. Right. So let me just save the file. So if you can see, if I do without sorting, your starting value will be uh, like iris are 2, right? Let's say age 33. But I'll try to process the data which is of less age. Maybe lead will be starting at the end if it is 21. Let's see whether we are able to write the data in the sorting manner or not without using any other extra activities. We can just extract simply the data, and we can just write back to the particular Excel. Right. Let's try to run the file. Okay, so we have been writing the data, extracting the data from all the pages. But it's been written back to the particular Excel here. So let's open data.xlsx file. And if I just open sheet 3, we have data related to position, name, and age. And we can see the data. So the age is starting from 19, right? And it's been increasing going forward. So this is how you just need to apply some sort of things when you're trying to directly apply when you extract the data. So you can just apply some logics directly when you extracted the data using table extraction methods. But earlier that particular settings was not there. What we used to do is like after extracting the data, you write some link query, or as like you write some sort of query to or as an activity to just sort your table, and again you are just optimizing your particular code. Okay. So the last concept we are going to see is something I won't extract the whole data, right? I won't extract the whole data. So we have the data which has been extracted. The whole is this thing. But before extracting that particular thing, what I want to do is I want to apply some small filter here, right? So what is a filter you want to apply? So I'll just use an assign activity to write some link query, which is not known to me. Let's say I'll try to just apply some expression. So we have our data. So we have, let's say, position and office, right? So we are just trying to apply the filter. So what is the position you want to apply? It is basically software engineer. Okay. And here the location we want to go is basically London. Okay. So this is the criteria we want to go with. So let's see how we can just write that particular query. Write a simple, write a link query. Extract data table variable to filter. So we have to filter the position, filter position column with the value. So what is the value? So this is the value, software engineer is the value. And piece column with value London and copy to data table. So this is simple English. We're just trying to write so that we are just utilizing autopilot to generate link queries for us, right? So I'll hit on generating the link query. So where it has extracted or given a link query for us, right? So this is the link query we have just extracted. Extracted a table dot as enumerable where function position is software engineer, and also we are trying to go with another column where the office is basically London. Yes. So that is what we have requested for. So let's just save this and utilize this thing in extract data table. Again, saving back to extract data table. And we are just trying to write this data into new sheet called sheet 4. Okay, so we have our data in sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. Now again, it go back to the particular application, which is starting from first page, and it will extract all 6 pages of data. And it will only write the data which is related to the position as a software engineer and where the office is basically London, right? So let me just run the file. As per our initial filter, we are supposed to get only 2 rows of data. So let's see whether the bot will be able to extract only the 2 rows of data after our particular logic. Right. So we have our data that's been extracted. So let me just jump back to my particular project folder. So let's send data.xlsx. We have sheet 4, and if you can see, I have only data related to position as software engineer and office as well. Right. So this is how you can just extract the data required for our particular logic. Right. So this is what we can just try to do in terms of different table extraction methods, where we have just seen how to basically extract in a single page data, multiple pages data, data which is with all the columns, and data with only required columns, let's say a name, position, and all. And also we have just seen how to sort the data table, and also we have just seen how to basically filter the data table using some sort of queries, uh, using autopilot feature and all, right? Are we clear as of now? Please do let me know if you have any queries, or else we'll just jump back to another concept of recorders.
Uh, I have one query, right?
Yes,
So while we use indicate on the screen in use browser application scope, right? So there we can select the selectors we want, either fuzzy or straight. But can we do that here also while extracting the table? Can we select the particular selector or modify
please.
it? There
Yeah,
is
we can do that. Let's say while you're extracting the table, if you just go to the properties, so if you just see that the target here is basically a selector only in the background. So though we are trying to do something like indicating or extracting the data, so we try to go in terms of the properties only by using a concept of selector only. So we can see here I'm trying to extract a table which is there with an ID called example here, right? So if that is getting what I can say uh, changing, we just need to modify the selector. So but it's stable, so we are just not trying to test it a few things. Right. In the background, it's something again you are trying to get the properties of the particular element. Here, the element is basically the table, right? So, will you show? Please show the link. So, what is this enumerable involved? It's a syntax that is being created in terms of the link variant. So, so this is something a syntax we can just try to go with. So if we are not aware of utilizing how the link queries works and all, so you can just simply write your expression and you can just get the data out of it, right? So suppose we have 30 rows in sheet, and now we are writing the data with 10 rows to the same sheet. So all the data clear before writing. So if we use write range activity, so the older data will be cleared. But if you try and utilize something called append range, so your data will be appended. So you have 30 rows and you are adding 10 rows. The 10 rows will be written after the 30 rows. if you try to use something called append range, if we use the right range, the first 10 rows of your data will be like rewritten and all. Okay, so can you show a demo like how to extract data from an unstructured table? So presently if it is something like unstructured data and all, we can't utilize this table extraction. We will try to go with using a get text method. After using a get text, you need to do some sort of regular expressions, or else you need to apply some other sort of string methods to make sure you're extracting your required data out of it. So how will extract data can convert extracted table to required date format? So if your column has a date format, you can just convert those things. So can you show a demo like how to extract data from an unstructured table? Yeah, as we discussed. Yeah, fine. So this is something we just thought of showcasing here uh, in terms of a table extraction. So now like simply we'll just show the app recorder. So at a quicker pace, we'll just go with creating a flowchart. And I'll just use a simple application to just do something on the recorder part here. Right. So this is the application I want to utilize, and I want to write something on the caching on US check, not on US check, and click on accept. So this is simply a 4-step process. I just want to go. How you will do all these 4 steps if you want to do it without using coders. You will try to use application browser, identify that this is the application I'm trying to interact. So identify these elements, get the select as, use the type into activities, use a click activity. Right. So let's say that I just want to simply provide a skeleton of how my solution will be looking like. I'll use something called app or web recorder, right? So I'll just quickly simply click on app or web recorder. So what I'll do is I'll just simply record the steps. I'll just highlight this particular application. So where it has automatically said that, hey, this is something application you want to utilize. Yes. And here I want to type something here. The value I want to type is 100. I'll just click on confirm. So where a type into was automatically created for us. Here also I want to click something called 200, where you are trying to just utilize again a type into what's been created for us. Here I want to enter a value called 150. So just click on expression confirm. So where it has written back a value for us. And let's say I want to get something called account number. So we have utilized an activity called get text. And finally, I want to click on accept. So where it has used a click here. So what I'll do is I'll just simply say I'm returned to studio, where a sequence is created for us. So if I just open the sequence, we have all our activities recorded is converted to a workflow basically, a XAML basically, right? So we have all our data. Let's say I want to just save the data here into some string variable, string account number. Okay. And I'll just utilize a message box to just print the account number. Right. So we just need to do some modifications if your selectors are not stable, or else like if you want to, this is a simple linear process with only one transaction, but I want to run it for multiple transactions. So how can you do that? So there are some challenges if we try to use app or web recorder. So we'll only try to just use a app or web recorder just to see if you want to quickly generate a XAML for your particular demo purpose, where you have a small timelines and all, then we'll just try to go with those things. I'll quickly run the file to see if I was able to write the data here. Yes, file. So it's writing a value 100, 200, 150. So it has extracted my particular account number, which says 309102567, and it will finally click on accept, right? And it has just stopped that particular process, right? So this is how we can just utilize the recorders. Recorders, nothing but you're just trying to replicate your manual actions, which will be again being converted into a XAML with all the steps you have just been gone through, right? So that is our things which we want to just showcase today in terms of recorders, or else in terms of what I can say, table extraction methods and all, right? So we just open for queries. What extract, what extra are we doing with intelligent automation than our RPA? So as of now, we are covering basic overview. We'll consider, but not sure. Okay, I think we please cover string in your path. So string is already been covered earlier. Any plan to series and complete orchestrator interest level. So we gonna showcase something what is notability exactly here, and as used it's been covered as was it's being covered. So autopilot is a feature which will help the developer to make sure it's been like a co-assistant or else like an AI assistant to just help you out in your coding and all. So let's say that as we are earlier discussing, let's say I haven't have a knowledge on how to basically write some regular expressions or some link queries. So when you're generating expressions, autopilot feature will help you to generate those expressions. So autopilot is something, a feature that's been integrated to your UiPath Studio. Okay. So we'll also cover the orchestrator high level overview, which is required. As of now, we're covering basic overview, we will consider, but not sure. Okay. Can we read data from Excel in recorder? No. In what situation will you use app or web recorder? Only at instances where you just want to uh, just quickly generate a XAML for your demo purposes, or else at instances where you're not able to do the task, and the recorders will definitely help us in just achieving that particular task. So what is between CV click and a click? Going forward, we'll explain. So CV click will utilize computer vision where it will try to just try to click based on image, but click will try to just click based on the properties of the particular selector, nothing but the element properties. Yeah. Anything else? So Pathadu, can you just explain what is our particular challenges all about? I'm just stopping my
Pradeep,
share.
we have Pradeep, right? Like let Pradeep take it up. Pradeep.
Yes, Pathadu. Yeah, hi, Sai.
Start.
Please.
I am just giving you the share of opportunity. As a presenter, yes, I think you are the presenter.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Let me open the Excel sheet.
So meanwhile, if you have any doubts, please just let us know. We'll be able to explain.
Yeah, Sai, when you were capturing, right, using the recorder, I saw that there was there were two options: plain text and expression, right? So, like, how do we use the expression part?
Sorry, can you just repeat?
Yeah, so while we were using the recorder, right? So we were entering the data in the desktop app as plain text, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
there, I saw that there was another option of expression.
Uh-huh.
So, like, how we use expression.
Expression, let's say that I have some value which I want to enter something as like combination of 2 or 3 values. So I know every time after writing the first name, I just need to enter a value called ABC. So I'll just utilize those expressions to just add some extra values to those things.
Okay. Okay, sir.
But generally, we 90% we won't utilize the recorders. That's every time we just.
So, to be very honest, like since last 6 years, I'm working on UiPath. I never used recorder. So because see, it will create us the entire structure and skeleton, but I feel more comfortable when I use the activities because we will get habituated or like we will get more hands-on or we will just keep those names very handy, right? So for using the activities, let us suppose if something is got failed in between or in case if you need to implement some new enhancement in